You're over 45, and you've probably noticed that the things that used to work for staying strong and lean, well, they just don't seem to hit the same way anymore, right? So what's the game plan now? Today, we are going to dive into the new rules for building and keeping your strength long after you've celebrated that 45th birthday.
And it's not just about getting older. There's a very specific, kind of silent process happening inside your body that, if you don't pay attention to it, can seriously undermine your strength, your mobility, and yeah, even your independence down the line. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that is and, more importantly, the science-backed strategy to fight back.
Hey, I'm Dr. Fernando Assunção. Now, as a physician, a nephrologist, and an athlete who is on this exact same journey, I've really dedicated my work to one thing: helping people just like us understand the real science of high-performance aging. And what we're talking about today, it's absolutely fundamental to that mission.
All right, so let's start with the biggest and most fundamental shift. See, after 45, your body starts playing by a whole new set of rules. And the biggest change? It isn't something you're going to see on the scale or even in the mirror at first. It's an invisible shift that really requires a whole new way of measuring performance.
That invisible threat has a name. It's called sarcopenia. All it means is the age-related decline in your muscle mass. You might have seen this in older relatives, or maybe you've even started to notice it in your own body. You know, a little less muscle in the arms or legs, even if your weight hasn't really changed. This is not about vanity. It's a direct threat to your strength and your long-term health.
And this brings us to a really crucial mindset shift. After 45, you're not just working out anymore. You are actively fighting a war on muscle loss. Why? Because your muscle is so much more than just what moves you around. It's basically a primary organ of your longevity. And here's the chain of events we absolutely have to prevent. See, losing muscle doesn't happen in a bubble. It leads directly to frailty. That frailty, in turn, dramatically increases the risk of a fall. And for someone over 45, a fall that leads to a broken bone, well, that can be a catastrophic, life-altering event. It often marks the end of living independently. So the stakes here could not be higher. Defending your muscle is really about defending your freedom.
This is exactly why we need a new mindset. I want you to think of your muscle as your metabolic armor. It's what helps regulate your blood sugar, it supports your metabolism, and it literally protects you from chronic disease. Your number one job after 45 isn't just to build muscle, it's to fiercely protect the muscle you already have.
So, if we're in a war to preserve our muscle, what's our most important weapon? Well, that brings us to fueling for strength. And our primary fuel in this battle is protein, but we have to be strategic about it.
Now here's the challenge. Research shows that as we get older, our bodies go through something called anabolic resistance. In simple terms, it just means we get less efficient at using the protein we eat to build and repair muscle. So while you might have gotten by on, say, 50 or 60 grams a day when you were younger, after 40, your target needs to go up. A really good starting range to aim for is about 75 to 90 grams a day.
But here's the thing. Not all protein is created equal, especially when we're talking about long-term health. Animal protein, particularly red meat, is high in an amino acid called methionine. And when we need some of it, studies suggest that a very high intake over the long haul is linked to metabolic stress and things that can actually speed up aging. Plant proteins, on the other hand, they come packaged with amazing things like fiber for your gut bacteria and powerful antioxidants that help activate your body's own health defenses.
And the data on this is it's incredible. A huge study in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 400,000 people, and what they found was stunning. Just shifting 3%, that's it, just 3% of daily calories from animal protein over to plant protein was linked to a 10% lower risk of death from any cause. That is a tiny change for a massive benefit.
So where do you get this high-quality plant protein? It is so much easier than you think. Legumes, things like beans, chickpeas, lentils, they're absolute powerhouses. Tree nuts and seeds are fantastic. And soy, in forms like tofu or edamame, is another excellent choice.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now let's get to the most important part, the how. This all comes together in a really simple daily action plan that you can start using literally today. Here it is, 3 simple steps. Step 1, know your number. Aim for that 75 to 90 gram target. Step 2, make a conscious effort every single day to prioritize those plant proteins. And step 3, and this part is absolutely non-negotiable. You must combine this with resistance training. Protein is just the building block. Exercise is the signal that tells your body to actually build something with it.
So let's end on this one crucial takeaway. The gym is where you stimulate the muscle growth, but your plate, Your plate is where you give your body the resources to preserve that muscle for the long run. The two are inseparable partners on this journey to lifelong strength. If you're over 45 and you want more strength and longevity, please subscribe to Longevity and Performance After 45 and go ahead and share this explainer with a friend who needs to hear it. Thanks for tuning in.